Dr. Zacharias Eusenius said, "The argument which is drawn from these declarations made in relation to the Messiah is most convincing, for if the humanity which he assumed was from the seed of Abraham and of David, then he had a real human nature. Christ took this upon himself, and not a nature created out of nothing or brought down from heaven. The flesh of Christ is the flesh of Adam." Where did Jesus Christ get his humanity from? Where did Jesus Christ get his human nature from? How did Jesus Christ become a member of the human race? It was through his earthly mother Mary, who was a descendant of Adam and Eve. While I was open-air preaching at the University of Alabama in Birmingham, one of the students was excusing his sinfulness by saying, "We're all born sinners." I said, "No, we're born innocent babies, and we become sinful by our own free choice. If you're a sinner, it's your own fault." He said, "But don't we descend from Adam?" I said, "Yes, we descend from Adam, just like Jesus Christ descended from Adam." He said, "No, Jesus Christ was the Son of God." I said, "Yes, he was the Son of God, but he was also the Son of Man. Didn't Jesus descend from King David?" He said, "Yeah, he descended from David, but through his mother." I said, "Well then, through his mother, Jesus Christ was also the son of Adam, because David was a son of Adam." And the student at this point was unable to respond. He couldn't refute this logic, so he was completely silent. An explicit statement from God should settle all theological disputes on that particular subject. And so listen to what God himself had to say about Jesus Christ being a descendant of Adam and Eve. "I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel." Genesis 3:15. This passage is considered to be prophetic of the incarnation of Jesus Christ and his ultimate triumph and victory over the devil. John Wesley said, "A gracious promise is here made of Christ as the deliverer of fallen man from the power of Satan. Notice is here given them concerning Christ, his incarnation, that he should be the seed of the woman." If Jesus Christ was the seed of the woman, then he was necessarily also the seed of the man, because Eve could not have children on her own. The children of Eve are in fact the children of Adam. So if Jesus Christ is a child of Eve, then he is also a child of Adam. If Jesus Christ is the seed of the woman, he's also the seed of the man. So no Bible passage can make it any clearer than that Jesus Christ is a descendant of Adam and Eve through his earthly mother Mary. The ancestors that a person has through their mother are no less their ancestors than who they have through their father. And the ancestors a person has through their father are no more of their ancestors than who they have through their mother. The ancestors a person has through their mother and through their father are both equally their ancestors. And therefore, the virgin birth of Jesus did not nullify, exclude, or negate the human ancestry Jesus had through his mother. Otherwise, the virgin birth would have excluded Jesus from being a son of Abraham or a son of David. But since the Bible affirms that Jesus was of the seed of David and of the seed of Abraham, despite his virgin birth, then it's not unscriptural to say that Jesus Christ was of the seed of Adam, despite his virgin birth. You see, the virgin birth did not make the human lineage or the Adamic ancestry of Jesus Christ somehow illegitimate. Jesus Christ had legitimate human ancestors through his mother. So Jesus was both human and divine. He was the Son of God and the Son of Man. He was born of God and he was born of man. The phrase Son of Man is actually an Old Testament phrase. It's used 108 times in the Old Testament. In the Hebrew, which is where this phrase originates, the word for man is Adam. So to be a son of man is actually to be a son of Adam. That's because if you're not a descendant of Adam, you're not really part of the human race. If you're not a descendant of Adam, you're not really part of mankind. But in the New Testament, this phrase, Son of Man, is applied to Jesus 85 times. It's used in all 4 Gospels, in the epistles, and Jesus himself would use it. But what could the Bible mean in using the phrase Son of Man in reference to Jesus, except that Jesus Christ was truly a son of Adam, that he was part of the human race, that he was part of Adam's family tree. And if Jesus Christ was not the son of Adam, then Jesus Christ was not truly the Son of Man. Being a child of Mary put Jesus into a particular family. Being a descendant of David put Jesus into a lineage of kings. Being of Judah made Jesus part of a certain tribe of Israel. Being a descendant of Abraham made Jesus a Jew or an Israelite. And being a child of Adam made Jesus a human being that was part of the human race. There have been some that have rightly recognized that Jesus Christ was a descendant of Adam and inherited human nature through his mother, but they have falsely assumed that human nature was sinful and therefore concluded that Jesus Christ inherited a sinful nature. Abraham Tucker said, "The sinful nature of Jesus, for that he did partake of a sinful nature by his birth from the woman, I see no reason nor scruple to doubt. He was a descendant of Adam, and when it is declared that in Adam all have sinned, no exception is made of him." This would be their reasoning put into a logical syllogism. The nature transmitted from Adam to his descendants is a sinful nature. Jesus was a descendant of Adam and inherited human nature from his mother, and therefore Jesus inherited a sinful nature. You see, if you grant their premise, you cannot avoid their conclusion. But the fault in their logic is this presupposition that human nature is in and of itself sinful, or that man's composition and constitution can have intrinsic moral qualities. But they came to the wrong conclusion because they started with the wrong premise. The following is an example of how they should have rightly reasoned. Jesus was a descendant or posterity of Adam. Jesus was not formed or born with a sinful nature. Therefore, a sinful nature is not transmitted from Adam to all of his descendants and posterity. If Jesus Christ was sinless, which he undoubtedly was, then we cannot affirm that a sinful nature is transmitted from Adam to all of his descendants. And we cannot affirm that all of his descendants sinned in him, being in his loins. And we cannot affirm that Adam's guilt is imputed to all of his descendants because he was somehow their representative. But the fact that Jesus Christ was a descendant of Adam, and the fact that Jesus Christ was sinless and guiltless, shows that men are not sinful or guilty merely for descending from him. It shows us that sin and guilt are not hereditary at all. The content in the video that you just watched is taken from a book that I've written called The Natural Ability of Man, a study on free will and human nature. The book is a very thorough defense of man's free will, and the appendix of the book deals exhaustively with the question of whether or not man's nature is sinful. Now, the book will be available for purchase very shortly at www.openairoutreach.com.